Today, I want to help you understand real estate investment strategies for beginners. What is the best strategy if you are just getting started in real estate? By the end of this video, I'm going to break down for you what potentially could be the best investment strategy if you are just getting your feet wet in the real estate investing world. Have you ever wondered what is the best way to jump into real estate? Is there a strategy that might be easier to engage in if you're a beginner and you're just starting your real estate investing career? Is there one path that's potentially better than the other one? Well, stick with me as I dive into this by first explaining what might be the best strategies for a real estate beginner. I then want to identify and help you understand which strategies worked well for me when I first got started in real estate. And finally, explain to you which strategy I'm doing right now that actually can be done by a beginner. If you're ready, let's go. When we talk real estate investment strategies, there's conversations that happen about very advanced real estate strategies all the way down the spectrum to some of the most basic strategies to get started if you're a newbie. And there's some strategies that fundamentally work very, very well. And there's some that are probably a little bit better to enter into if you're just getting started. So knowing that there's a wide array of strategies out there in the real estate investing world, which one is best for beginners? Here's my philosophy. If you are wanting to get started in real estate investing, I think one of the best things you can do is just jump in and start doing it. You learn so much by actually doing it in the first place. You need to know that you don't have to understand everything out there. Matter of fact, let me explain to you how I got started in real estate, because I did just that. I didn't have a wealth of knowledge when it came to real estate investing, but I wanted to get started. So at the time, my partners and I had a business that started to do pretty well, and we had some available capital that we wanted to invest. So I started looking in an area that I knew was growing. There was a university that was transforming from a 2-year junior college to a 4-year university. So things were happening, right? Things were starting to pop up. And there were some fourplexes that were popping up just down the road from the university that was expanding. So I looked at these and I reached out. I called the number that was in the newspaper. That tells you about how long ago it was. It was about 22 years ago. And I said, listen, I'm interested in some fourplexes. They said, well, how many are you interested in? I said, probably 4 to 6 fourplexes, because it was me and my 2 partners, right? So it wasn't just me purchasing 6 fourplexes. He said, well, let's sit down. This sounds interesting. If you want 6 of these, I'm really interested in talking to you. So we sat down and he said, listen, would you be interested in maybe 8 of them? Because if we can get some money we can expand on phase 2 of the development. So I went back to my partner and said, listen, we'd be happy to do 8. And because of that, these were going for maybe $275,000. And where I was buying so many of them in one lump sum, now obviously we're going to get financing on those, but the gentleman said, listen, I'll give you those properties at a discount for say $258,000, $256,000, one of those numbers. And so we got them under contract and we started working towards that. And about a week into it, the guy wanted to meet again. He sat down, listen, he said, I've got 7 down one spine, 7 down another. They're built in 14 different blocks. If you guys could take down 14, that would make a world of difference for us and really allow us to get going on some of these other projects. And matter of fact, we'd be willing to give you those, all of them, for $245,000 a piece. So $30,000 off the asking price. 30,000 times 14, $400,000, $420,000 is what the difference was. That was a pretty good deal. So I said, yes, let's do it. Went back to my partners and said, listen, we can't take down 14. We can do 8. 8 was our max. We've got to stick with that. So I was kind of bummed, said, man, what do I do here? At the same time, I had a gentleman say, listen, I heard you're looking at some fourplexes up in that area. I'm interested. I said, man, would you be interested in quite a few of them? He said, maybe 4 of them. I said, listen, if you could do 6 of them, I'd be able to get them from $275,000 the asking price down to $255,000. He jumped on it immediately, and I was able to assign that contract of 6 fourplexes to him with a $10,000 margin. I was able to make $10,000 per fourplex instantly, or $60,000. And that's how I got started my real estate investing career. Now that typically doesn't happen for everybody, but the whole point of it is that I jumped in and started engaging in real estate, and this opportunity presented itself. So what is the best strategy for a beginner, right? You can jump in and start doing it like I did, but there might be some strategies that are meant and better for a beginner. And really there's 2 strategies I think are tailor-made for beginners, and one is purchasing single-family homes and doing long-term rentals. Here's one thing I've seen with single-family homes. They're always in demand. Even if they aren't selling, people are going to want to rent them. And if you own a single-family home in a decent area and it matches the market you're in, meaning that you don't have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath when there's a neighborhood full of families, right? But if you have a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in a nice area, that is almost always going to be rented out if you can't turn around and sell it. So having single family homes and renting that out on a long-term basis is a great way to get started, because once again, that asset is going to appreciate while at the same time you have somebody renting it from you who is paying down your mortgage, so you're creating wealth. And if you can do that time and time again, you're creating wealth on multiple appreciating assets. The second strategy I think that works really well for a beginner is something called wholesaling. That's exactly what I did in that scenario, where I got a piece of property under contract at a low price, and I was able to assign that contract to somebody else at a higher price. So I was able to wholesale those pieces of property at a higher price, at a more retail price. Even though it was below retail, it was above the wholesale price I was getting it at, and I was able to make that money without coming up with money out of my own pocket, right? I was able to make $10,000 per assigned contract, and that's something you can do. Understanding wholesaling and being good at negotiating a price at a very low price and turning around and flipping that contract or wholesaling it to somebody else is a great strategy for beginners. Now, there are some strategies that are more innovative, and the one that I've come up with over the last 12 months, and I believe I've come up with it, I haven't heard of anybody else doing it out there, but it's something that I've coined the phrase cash flow flipping. And this strategy is absolutely amazing because you can do it in any market, in any condition, and it's something that not only creates passive cash flow every single month, but it's also a great way to build wealth, and it requires little to no money out of your pocket. And if you're interested in understanding this strategy called cash flow flipping, I have a full video that goes into great detail exactly how I do this. And I even believe that beginners can start doing this strategy right away to create massive wealth. Just click on the video below. Thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.